So the top is MDF and a laminate. So it's definitely a candidate for painting. Plywood sides. And you know, maybe I think I might stain the drawers, or at least the top drawer. And yeah, but the drawers are in good condition and they're moving it out fairly well. The hardware is all here, even though that's going to come off because it reminds me of early American, and that's my least favorite style of furniture. I have no sense of doing that. But I'll save them because you never know. You never know. I mean, they could be painted or they're different. You know, they have like a nice little design here, so they could be good for something. So yeah, I'll probably stain one drawer and then I will paint the rest. Hi, my name is Kat from Owling Dog. I love creative arts and restoring old furniture and other items. The time you spend watching this channel is appreciated. I hope you subscribe and like these videos, which helps circulate the content. Feel free to drop a comment. All of these are appreciated. Well, let's go see what's in the barn. Okay, so I washed it with TSP and I saw a few dots on it, and I just wanted to be sure that it wasn't some kind of mildew. So only on 2 of the drawers, so I bleached that, and everything is rinsed off. I can see that there was a little shred of missing piece of wood right here. So I removed it all and glued it down with Quick and Thick. Let's see. So I'm going to fill the rest with just a little bit of wood putty, just to smooth it out before I paint it. So right now I'm going to vacuum the inside, and it looks like this drawer needs a repair. What was that, stapled up there? So I'll tack it with a nail. Looks like these are okay. Just that one. So I'll glue it and I'll tack it. And then right after that, I am going to sand down the drawer fronts. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, if they come out nice, I'm going to stain the fronts and paint the top and the sides, paint the body. Based on how rough that is in the drawers, I'm going to try sanding it. And the drawers look fine on the inside, but they're really, really rough. I don't think you'd want to put your clothing in there. So I want it to be really nice, so the clothing can be put in without being damaged. So we'll see how the sanding does, and if not, then I'm going to have to paint them on the inside, at least, so that they can be dusted and cleaned, because that's important. I had to change things up here a little bit because of the cold, and bring a lot of my supplies up front so that they could stay near the heaters. It was a little too cold out back, and we're going to try it this way. So what I did was, over here, you can see the 3 drawers. I sanded those down. They came out nice. The only thing is you can see that the halos are there from the old hardware, and I hate that. What I did was I used some oxalic acid and rinsed it out this morning, but I still have some halos. It's much better on the light parts, but right here where let's see, where this dark part of the wood is, it still has quite a bit of halo. Every time you pour water over it, it lifts up the little fibers, and it needs more sanding. And sanding over oxalic acid is very hazardous, so you want to make sure that you have it all rinsed off well. I think I rinsed it off well, so I hope I did. I'm letting it dry in front of the heater, letting all the drawers dry. And once they're really, really dry, then I'll go over it with a little fine sanding to make sure all those fibers are laying down flat. And yeah, I'm not going to put any stain on those drawers until I do the body of the dresser. So, and with the dresser, it's not real wood. I mean, it's like a MDF on the top, and the sides are wood. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to scuff sand the sides and the pieces in the front. I'm going to scuff sand the top, but just a little bit. And then I have a bonding primer. It's the Slick Stick. I'm going to go over the top with Slick Stick. So I'm going to do 2 coats of the Slick Stick on the top after I give it a scuff sand, and then I'm going to use the bullseye primer on the rest of it. the inside of the drawers to keep it neat. Okay, so it's not bad. I have Slick Stick on the top, and then the 123 primer on the bottom. And yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, because I'm using the One Step, it's a Restoration Bronze, and so I'm using this color because the end table in the room where this dresser is going is painted with the Restoration Bronze, and I want the pieces to match. And yeah, so we're going to use that on the body, and really it shouldn't need a primer, so I'm just going to do a very, very light sand to make sure there are no little nits and pieces on there. So yeah, and then I'll go over it with the Restoration Bronze. Here we go. Challenging with the cold. What I'm going to do is put the paint on with a brush. That's what I do sometimes. I put it on with a brush and then with the roller. And sometimes I switch back and forth because if the roller looks like it's like getting a little bit, lizard-like, you can just smooth it out with the paintbrush, and vice versa. You can take the paintbrush and put it on so you have a good amount of paint on, and then go over it with the roller. So I did add a little bit of water into my paint, just a very tiny bit, and that's only because it's so cold in here. It's like just barely above 40, I think, which is really cold to paint. And that's with 2 heaters. And I'm trying to be quick. I'm trying not to paint my garage door blue. It wouldn't be as bad if I had a full jar of the paint, but I don't. I don't know, I guess I just wasn't thinking. I knew I was going to paint it this color, I don't know, just totally forgot that I might need more. And so I don't have a lot of paint left over. And I thought about mixing it with another gray, but I really want to keep it to the same color as that little table, like I said. So I thought, I think what I'll do is add a little bit of top coat into it, which I'm going to use on the top anyway. So yeah, I'm going to make I'll thin out the paint somewhat, and I might have to do a couple more coats, but I would rather do that than run out of paint, because no one around here sells the Melange paints. And this is what we have with one coat. And this morning I came in and I gave it a light sand down with about 400 grit sponge. Yeah, 320. And yeah, I mean, it looks okay. So I'm going to try to mix those together and see if I can make that paint go a little further. Now I can see where it's not covered well enough, but I don't want to, I want to resist the urge to hit it again because that's when you'll leave a mark. So if there's a little space where there's no paint, just leave it because you're going to do another coat. And I'm going to work on the sides off camera. So I tried the handles, and it's going to be a surprise because they're so pretty. And the handle actually covers this halo, so I'm not going to worry about it. And what I decided to do is I'm going to sand them this morning, and because the fibers lift up from me having wet them a lot, rinsing off the oxalic acid, so I'm going to give those a light sanding, and I'm not going to stain them. I'm just going to put shellac on and see how they look. And I'll see how they look with just the shellac in the chest of drawers. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So the reason I'm sanding in 45-degree angles is to make sure that I'm nipping all of those fibers that lifted up with the oxalic acid and rinsing. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you to Corey from Desert DIY for hosting this other unique antique challenge, with the caveat on this one that either the piece be donated to charity or the piece be donated to a person in need, or a donation is made to a charity of some sort. So that's the route that I chose because this piece was actually given to a family member, and it matches the little end table that I did a few weeks ago in the same room. So, yep, it's not an antique, but it is vintage. It's an old chest of drawers that I got from someone who does a lot of clean outs and auctions and things like that. So I took it in, and it was was really rough. The drawers were really rough on the inside, so I wasn't sure what was going to happen to them. So I sanded the insides, and I did the Howard's Feed in wax on the inside of the drawers. On the outside of the drawers, there are a few coats of shellac. Actually, I sanded these drawers, and I couldn't get out the halos that were left from those old early American hardwares. So I used oxalic acid, and it did a nice job, but it didn't quite take everything away. But I realized with the new hardware, and this is Lawless hardware, and usually, I'll tell you what I do. Usually when they're having a sale, I buy sets of 6. Sometimes that's not enough, but usually it is. I buy sets of 6 of all different kinds of hardware that I might like, and usually 2 1/4, 2 1/2, or 3-inch spacing from screw to screw usually does it. Or I buy knobs. I don't buy a lot of knobs, but I do, and I try to keep them on hand. The wood was so pretty that I decided to leave it natural. When I sprayed it with shellac, it looked really pretty. So I did a couple of coats of shellac. I repaired the bottom drawer, and the inside was broken, both inside the drawer body itself and the drawer. So I glued and clamped it, and I had to actually fashion, off camera, I fashioned a little piece out of putty so that it would hold the screw. It looked like someone tried to fix it, and when they pulled it up, they just broke the slider in half. So that's why I fixed it with some putty. I used Melange paints, one in Restoration Bronze. Now, I would never say to mix up these one paints that have the clear coat and the paint all in one. You're not supposed to need a primer, and you're not supposed to need a top coat. But I didn't have a lot of paint left, and I really wanted that color, and that's all I have right here. So what I did was, and I don't suggest that you do it, I just did the best thing that I could think of, and that was to mix what I had. I did a few coats in the paint that was really, really thick, and I'd watered it down just a tiny, tiny bit. But I thought I was going to run out of paint before I got a satisfactory coating. So at the end, I mixed it with my clear coat. And I did several coats like that. And then on the top, I did wax, regular Howard's Citrus Shield, which I love. It's beautiful. It creates a really nice hard finish. So that's on the drawer fronts and on the top, and you can see how beautiful it came out. My suggestion is that you make sure you have enough paint for your project. Rule number 1. Rule number 2, try not to mess with the manufacturer's products too much. But anyway, thank you for watching the video. Stay tuned, and I'll have a few staged photos at the end. And make sure you watch all of the other artists in the playlist, and it's a Unique Antique Challenge. Again, Corey from DIY. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon.